The desert night stretches endlessly, vast and quiet. A soft, warm breeze drifts across the sands, carrying the faint, sweet scent of lotus flowers from the Nile. Above, stars shimmer like scattered jewels, reflected in the slow, steady flow of the river. It is a night untouched by time, a night that has witnessed the birth of gods and the rise of kings. You are a Airi in these moments, not as a visitor, but as a witness. The air itself seems alive, breathing stories into the silence. You inhale slowly, and with that breath, you are no longer in the present. You are 5,000 years in the past, standing where the first myths of Egypt began. It all starts with a question. How did the world come to be? Before kings, before pyramids, there was nothing but a dark, infinite void called none. The primordial waters, but within these waters, potential stirred. Imagine a single spark of light, radiant and delicate, unfurling against the darkness. The warmth of that light touches your face, as if the sun itself is being born for the very first time. It is beautiful, terrifying, and only the beginning. From this first light, the Egyptians imagined Atum, the self-created one, rising from the chaos upon a sacred mound. He stretched his hands to the sky, and with his breath came the first children. Shut, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. With them came movement, life, and the beginnings of a sacred universe. The air around you shifts as you step closer to the Nile. You can hear the gentle lap of water, a rhythm older than memory. The reeds whisper secrets from temples long buried, and a faint chime of ceremonial bells echoes across the desert night. From Atum's children came more gods, a pantheon to vast account, gods of the sun and moon, of death and rebirth. You imagine yourself on the riverbank at dawn, the water glowing with the first light of Ra's journey in his golden boat. The air smells of papyrus and incense from nearby temples. You hear a faint, hypnotic chant rising in the distance. Call in names you somehow recognize. Anubis, Osiris, Isis, Horus. These are not just stories. This is a journey. You see the tale of Osiris, betrayed by his brother Set and scattered across the land. You feel the sorrow of Isis, gathering each piece, weaving them back together with love. You hear the triumphant cry of Horus, rising to challenge the usurper and bring justice. You feel the gentle presence of Thoth, scribing the secrets of the world into eternal scrolls. The night wraps around you like a blanket, drawing you into the mysteries of the Nile, the secrets of forgotten gods, and the eternal dance between life and death. What other secrets lie hidden in the sands? What did the gods whisper to the pharaohs? So, let the desert wind carry us back 5,000 years to where it all began. If you're ready for this journey, make sure to follow and subscribe for more stories from the sands of time. In the beginning, before time had a name, there was stillness. Not an emptiness, but a presence. A vast, silent ocean, dark and patient, stretching beyond understanding. The ancient Egyptians called it Nun, the primordial waters. Imagine it, an infinite ocean reflecting no sun, no stars, holding no whisper of wind. It was calm, yet potent, filled with a quiet energy that had no beginning and no end. The waters moved not with waves, but with a subtle pulse, like a heartbeat that existed before hearts themselves. You stand at the edge of this first water. There is no shore, no bank, only this liquid eternity, carrying within it the promise of everything that could be. The silence presses softly against your ears, and for a moment, you wonder if breath itself is yet to exist. And then, slowly, a shape begins to rise. A mound appears from the water, small at first, then firm, solid. The Egyptians called it the Benban, the first mound, the sacred point where creation would begin. It rises like the spine of the world, a gentle hill upon which the first god will soon stand. From this mound emerges Atum, the self-created one. He stands alone, a figure of perfect balance, gazing over the infinite waters. He breathes, and with that breath, creation begins. From Iswil, he produces his first children, Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, goddess of moisture. Shu rises, carrying the gentle lift of the unseen winds. Tefnut flows beside him, bringing the subtle life of rain and mist. Together, they create the possibility for life to take form. The primordial waters, once still, now ripple with anticipation. From their union come Geb and Nut, earth and sky. Geb stretches out, fertile and patient, feeling the weight of mountains yet to rise. Nut curves above him, a vast, protective canopy, dotted with the earliest stars. And Shu, the air, stands between them, lifting the sky gently from the earth, creating the space for life to circulate. The balance is delicate. Each god has a purpose. Creation isn't sudden, it's slow, careful, as if the gods themselves are learning what it means to exist. You can almost feel it. The soft touch of soil that has never been disturbed, the fresh air tinged with moisture, the vast sky holding stars that shine without a sun. Atum observes his creation with a serene gaze. He knows that order and chaos are intertwined, two sides of the same eternal coin. The Egyptians saw the universe as a cycle, creation emerging from potential, nurtured by balance and threatened by chaos. Life, death, light, darkness all exist in relation to one another. And then you feel it in your chest, a slow, rhythmic pulse, as if you can sense the heartbeat of the cosmos itself. It's a heartbeat connecting you to that first mound, to Atum, to the breath of Shu and the soil of Geb. You are part of it. But even in this perfection, there is movement, tension. You can feel the pull of Shu holding sky and earth apart. You can smell the coming rain in Tefnut's hands. And in the intimate gaze between Nut and Geb, you can sense the first stirrings of desire, of love, of longing. Even gods are not free from emotion. The gentle winds of Shu stir once more, and you feel the first seasons taking shape. Life begins to emerge from the waters and the mist of first plants, the first whispers of creatures that will one day populate the Nile. It's a slow, mesmerizing rhythm, like a lullaby sung by the universe itself. And yet, you feel a foreshadowing, a flicker of shadow in the starlight. The beauty of creation is tempered by the potential for discord, because even in paradise, jealousy and love would soon awaken something far darker. The Nile flows softly tonight, reflecting the pale light of the moon, its silver ripples glimmering like scattered stars. You can hear it in the hush of the reeds, the gentle sighing of the water as it brushes against the riverbank, as if the river itself were whispering secrets long forgotten. And on this riverbank, standing tall and calm, is Osiris, the first great king of men and gods alike. Imagine him as both human and divine, his presence gentle yet commanding, his eyes carrying the wisdom of eternity. The land around him is fertile, green, alive. Grain sways softly in the wind, the scent of earth and growing life filling your senses. Osiris walks among his people, speaking softly, listening carefully, his presence bringing comfort and order. There is a rhythm to his days, overseeing agriculture, teaching the arts of civilization, and celebrating the harmony of life. Even the animals sense it. The cattle graze calmly. The birds settle in the reeds without fear. You feel yourself drawn into this world, imagining the gentle sound of his voice in the wind, the serene weight of his gaze upon the fertile land. It is peace. The first kind of peace you can imagine. Soft, slow, full of purpose. But even in this perfection, you sense a shadow lurking, soft but undeniable. For harmony, by its nature, invites imbalance. Set watches from a distance, hidden among the palms. You can almost feel the heat of his silent fury, the quiet, simmering envy that coils like a snake beneath his ribs. Where Osiris brings life, Set brings desire for power, for recognition, for the acclaim that Osiris takes so effortlessly. He observes the people laughing, working, thriving, and feels the sting of inadequacy. The reeds whisper in the night, but their gentle song only deepens his resentment. And in this quiet, reflective night, his plan begins to form, a ripple beneath the still surface of the river, unseen but inevitable. The celebration of Osiris's reign is alive tonight, the people singing, the Nile reflecting torches that flicker like fireflies, and yet hidden within the merriment. Setax, the coffin, crafted with exquisite care and treachery, waits silently, a trap in the form of art Osiris, ever trusting, approaches, unaware. The lid closes gently, silently, yet it is the weight of betrayal that makes the world tremble. The Nile, that silent witness to life, now carries the shadow of grief. And Isis, sensing something amiss, begins her sorrowful search. She moves through the marshes, her eyes glistening with tears, her heart aching. You can almost hear the reeds whisper as she passes, the gentle ripple of water echoing her longing. Her journey is not just physical, but spiritual. She calls upon every hidden power, every whispered incantation. In the distance, reeds shift. The marshes breathe. The first signs of hope appear as soft glimmers in the water, faint, almost imperceptible, guiding her steps. Isis finally discovers the hidden coffin. She kneels, her heart trembling. The air is heavy with the scent of lotus, incense, and the quiet pulse of divine magic. She lifts her hands slowly, tracing sigils of power and weaving words older than time. Each syllable stretches like silk across the night, delicate and unstoppable. Osiris stirs, a faint pulse growing stronger. You can almost feel it, a heartbeat returning to a world that feared it was lost. The reeds bend, the water ripples, the marsh whispers in anticipation. Life stirs, fragile and magnificent, as magic and devotion intertwine. From the sacred union of Osiris and Isis comes a new life. Horus, the falcon-headed sun, destined to restore order. The air is soft with promise. You can imagine the tender hush of a newborn, the fragile rhythm of life beginning, even amidst shadows of fear. As he grows, the lessons of his parents ripple through him. He learns patience, courage, and justice. And though Set's jealousy still smolders, there is hope, the quiet, steady knowledge that order can rise again. Night drapes the marshes like a heavy velvet cloak. Isis stands silently, holding Horus in her arms, his soft breaths a gentle rhythm against her chest. The baby's presence is fragile, luminous, a symbol of hope. You feel the warmth of the bond between mother and child, the delicate thread that weaves life back into the fractured kingdom. Isis's mind is a river of thought, recalling Osiris's laughter, the betrayal, the sorrow. And yet, through it all, a quiet flame of hope burns, steady and resilient. The marshes seem alive, bending subtly, sighing, carrying secrets of the divine. The faint croak of frogs, the distant call of birds, the gentle lapping of water against the reeds, all become a symphony of quiet magic. You feel yourself drawn into this soundscape, lulled by its rhythm, hypnotized by the cadence of life and loss. Lo on duty. But death in Egypt was never truly the end. For Osiris was destined to rule the realm beyond life, and his son Horus would carry the promise of balance into the ages. The moment you step beyond the veil of the living world is subtle, almost imperceptible. One heartbeat, and the warmth of the sun, the familiar wind on your face, the distant laughter of lifefall fades into a cool, dense air, thick with the scent of lotus and faint incense. A mist curls around your ankles, soft and tangible, carrying the quiet echoes of all who have walked this path before you. Flickering torchlight stretches along endless stone corridors, casting long, trembling shadows that sway and twist as if they're alive. Your footsteps fall softly, echoing slowly against cold walls, each step measured, deliberate. Somewhere deep in the corridors, distant whispers drift through the air. They are the murmurs of other souls moving forward, unseen. Their words, almost music, soft and hypnotic, blending with the faint trickle of water from unseen streams. You notice the coolness of the stone beneath your fingertips, the smooth carvings etched into the wall's hieroglyphs that shimmer faintly, telling stories older than memory. A quiet fear rises, not sharp or terrifying, but subtle, a reminder of the unknown. And yet, beneath that fear, there is awe, a quiet realization that you are walking a path, both sacred and eternal, that each step is both yours and part of a greater rhythm, a cosmic dance that stretches across time itself. The duet stretches infinitely ahead, its corridors branching like the rivers of the Nile. The first gates rise before you, massive and carved from black stone. Their forms are sculpted with impossible precision figures, part human, part animal, part divine, their eyes glowing faintly as if aware of your passage. Guardian statues flank each gate, frozen in expression yet alive with an eternal presence. The corridors echo softly with every movement. The drip of water from the ceiling falls like slow, deliberate punctuation in the otherwise silent halls. The chill of the stone against your skin is a subtle reminder of the mortality you've left behind. You feel a tension in your chest, a quiet curiosity mingled with reverence. These first gates are not tests of strength, but of courage and truth. The duat seems to watch, listening to the rhythm of your thoughts, the steadiness of your soul. A gentle voice seems to rise from the walls themselves, asking questions you do not hear with your ears, but with your awareness. It is a soft, hypnotic invitation to reflect, to pause, to measure yourself against the eternal. And so you move, step by careful step, slow and deliberate, letting the air, the torchlight, and the shadows guide you through this first threshold of eternity. Beyond the initial gates, the corridors grow narrower and darker. Flickering torch shadows dance across stone walls that seem to breathe, stretching and contracting with the rhythm of your own heartbeat. Guardians with serpentine forms coil along the passage, their eyes glinting with soft light, challenging you in ways both subtle and profound. You are confronted by visions, memories, illusions, reflections of past deeds, moments of pride, sorrow, and regret. Each is a whisper against your consciousness, a mirror of who you were and who you are now. A faint melody floats through the air, like distant flutes or soft chanting, wrapping around you, urging introspection. Fear rises quietly, not the sharp, sudden fear of danger, but the slow, creeping fear of truth itself. As you continue, the underworld grows surreal. Pools of water reflect not only your face but your soul, your intentions, and your hidden thoughts. Serpentine guardians move with hypnotic grace, coiling and uncoiling, their eyes catching every movement, every flicker of emotion. The halls echoed endlessly, and winds whisper through the corridors, carrying the subtle fragrance of myrrh and ancient, sacred herbs. Here, the trials are not only tests, but mirrors. You confront choices you made, paths you took or avoided, the moral weight of your life. The soul feels small against the grandeur of eternity, yet intimately woven into its divine order. The final gates rise, monumental and imposing. Their guardians tower over you, forms shifting between stone and spirit, their eyes glowing with a soft, divine light. The air grows heavier, each breath dense with the presence of the eternal. Soft golden glimmers illuminate the corridors, flickering along walls lined with shimmering inscriptions. You feel the immense weight of this sacred passage as you approach the final chamber. The hall opens before you, grand and echoing, its scale impossible to measure. Marble floors stretch endlessly, its walls inscribed with hieroglyphs that glow faintly in the torchlight. The air is cool and heavy with incense. Soft light shimmers, illuminating Osiris seated upon his throne. Calm, serene, eternal. Surrounding him are priests, deities, and sacred animals, luminous and still, whispering soft hymns that resonate through the chamber. Reverence fills you, mingled with a quiet fear, an understanding of a cosmic order that weighs gently upon your soul. At last, your heart is placed upon gleaming scales, poised opposite the feather of Mat. Osiris's calm gaze meets yours, serene yet unyielding. Golden light bathes the chamber. Time seems to stretch. Each heartbeat is deliberate, each breath a meditation. You feel the weight of your life, every choice, every intention, balanced against eternal truth. If your heart balances with the feather, a soft golden light expands, and you are gently carried to the field of reeds. Waters shimmer under an eternal sun. Reeds sway in a gentle breeze, and peace wraps around you like a soft, endless embrace. But if your heart falters, it is drawn toward Amit, the devourer of souls. The moment stretches endlessly, dreamlike, as your being is transformed, dissolved, and absorbed into the eternal cycles of justice and renewal, fear and all mingle. Profound and quiet, as the cosmic order takes its course, and in the calm after judgment, a soft whisper drifts. But while Osiris ruled the realm of the dead, his son Horus prepared to reclaim the world of the living. The sun rises over the sands of Egypt, its light stretching across the great Nile, turning the waters to molten gold. You feel the warmth brush against your skin, but beneath it lies a shadow of unease, a tension humming through the air. You stand at the edge of the desert, where dunes rise like sleeping beasts, watching, waiting. Horus steps forward, his eyes as bright as the morning sun. He is the son of Isis and Osiris, the rightful heir to a throne stolen by chaos itself, in the form of his uncle, Set. The challenge ahead is not merely of fists or weapons, but of will, cunning, and strategy. Set, dark and restless, roams the lands in unpredictable fury. His laughter echoes in the valleys, a sound like jagged stones grinding together. He dares anyone even. Horus do oppose him. The first clashes are subtle. Horus and Set appear in the skies, taking forms that defy earthly understanding. Falcons, lions, serpents. In Etch, Sape, a new lesson is revealed. The desert sand curls around your feet, carrying the faint scent of myrrh. And river reeds, as the slow unfolding of a war both eternal and intimate begins. Time stretches differently in the realm of gods. Days bleed into nights, nights into years. The battles unfold in grand, hypnotic patterns. Horus transforms into a falcon, his wings slicing through the sky, scanning the shifting sands for Set's serpentine form. Set coils across the desert, a lion, a shadow with burning eyes, his roars shaking the dunes. Each clash is a deliberate and poetic dance of power, trickery, and divine cunning. Sometimes Horus gains ground. Sometimes Set's chaos overturns his plans, forcing retreats in moments where the desert seems endless. Yet within these trials, there is growth. The two gods pause mid-battle, eyes locked, weighing not just strength, but the very essence of their being. After years of trials and subtle maneuvers, the final confrontations loom. Horus and Set face one another across the great Nile Delta. The air vibrates with anticipation. Horus becomes a lion-headed falcon, eyes burning with purpose. Set coils into a serpent of fire and shadow. They spiral in the sky, a slow dance of light and shadow, order and chaos. You feel the tension in every detail, the brush of Horus's wings against the desert air, the hiss of Set's serpentine form, the almost imperceptible echo of divine judgment in every heartbeat. Horus's patience and wisdom give him a subtle advantage. Set's raw fury is immense, but scattered, an energy without discipline. At last, the final strike comes. Horus rises above Set, and the serpent of chaos is driven back, exiled from the fertile lands. His power is restrained but not destroyed. The desert settles, the Nile flows calmly, and the air hums with a soft, eternal rhythm. Horus descends, not in triumph, but in serene dignity. He restores order across Egypt. Life flourishes again. Yet Set's shadow remains, a reminder that chaos is never gone, only restrained, and that vigilance must continue to preserve the delicate balance of the world. As the sun sets, a deeper understanding settles in. Life itself mirrors this battle, a constant cycle of light and dark, order and chaos, and as the last light fades, a quiet whisper lingers. But even gods fade, and mortals rise carrying their faith through stone, song, and time itself. The cycle continues, as it always will. The dawn spreads slowly over the Nile, a gentle flood of gold and amber spilling across the calm waters. Mist rises from the riverbanks, curling like soft silk over the reeds, drifting through the temples and palaces that line the river. The air is warm, yet carries a faint coolness of the early morning, a hint of the night that is yet to vanish. In this quiet hour, the world feels suspended, poised between sleep and wakefulness, between earth and eternity. Along the river, the first flickers of torchlight shimmer in the shadows of massive stone pylons. Each step you take echoes softly, the sound swallowed by vast corridors adorned with hieroglyphs and murals carved deep into sun-baked sandstone. You can almost feel the weight of time pressing upon you, as though these walls themselves remember the hands that raised them and the prayers that rose beneath them. And there, in the midst of it all, walks the pharaoh. His sandals whisper against the cool stone floors, each footfall deliberate, measured, echoing faintly through the halls. He moves with a serenity that is almost otherworldly, his robes flowing with the morning breeze, his golden headdress catching the first light and scattering it into fragments of sun along the walls. In this moment he is more than a man. He is the bridge between the divine and the mortal. The priests and servants move around him with practiced silence. Offering bowls of honey, bread, and fresh flowers are carried in careful procession. The scent of lotus and myrrh mingles with the earthy fragrance of the river. A soft hum of chanting begins to stir the air, rising in gentle waves. Every gesture of the pharaoh is a ritual, not just for the people, but for the gods themselves. For in this calm, golden light, he embodies order, the delicate balance that keeps the Nile flowing and the sun rising. The pharaoh pauses before the sanctuary of Amun-Ra, where flickering oil lamps cast trembling shadows across the walls. He kneels, and the air seems to settle around him. The fragrance of incense rises in curling spirals, delicate and sweet. In this quiet, reverent passé, you feel the full weight of his divinity. Not in grand gestures of power, but in the slow, measured rhythm of daily devotion. Each prayer, each bow, is a thread connecting heaven and earth. Outside, the Nile glimmers. Fishermen in small boats drift silently through the morning mist. The gentle slap of oars and the soft cry of a bird form a serene counterpoint to the temple-esque ritual. All is connected. River, land, people, gods, and pharaoh. All moves in a delicate, hypnotic rhythm. As the morning unfolds, the pharaoh rises. He moves through the temple, past towering columns etched with stories of gods and kings. He pauses before a carving of Horus, falcon-headed, and you can almost feel the weight of his responsibility to maintain balance, to ensure that chaos never rises. It's a quiet, heavy presence, a reminder that divinity is not merely a gift, but a duty. He steps into a courtyard, where the first rays of sun have begun to warm the stone. He lifts his arm slowly in blessing, and in that gesture, you can sense the pulse of creation itself, order, prevailing over chaos, light over darkness. The heartbeat of Egypt seems to align with the rhythm of his movements. The pharaoh is a living myth, walking among mortals, touching their lives with the silent language of divinity. This is the slow, hypnotic weaving of life and myth, the quiet, eternal thread that links the gods, the pharaoh, and the people of Egypt. As you lie back, letting this golden light and soft murmur wash over you, you feel the heartbeat of Egypt itself slow, deliberate, eternal. As the sun sinks far below the horizon, the desert settles into a quiet, undisturbed slumber. The last warmth of the day lingers on the stones of ancient temples, their golden light fading into a gentle, violet twilight. A soft breeze stirs the sands, carrying faint whispers the memory of ancient prayers, of gods long revered, of kings whose names echoed through eternity. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it. The faint ripple of the Nile, brushing against reeds, a whisper that has flowed uninterrupted for thousands of years. It carries the secrets of creation, the laughter of Isis, searching for Osiris, the silent judgment of Osiris in the Hall of Mat, and the triumphant cries of Horus reclaiming the throne. Each ripple, each breath of wind, is a fragment of story, drifting softly through the desert night. The temples, once bustling with devotion, now stand in tranquil repose. Columns rise silently into the starlit sky, casting elongated shadows that stretch across the courtyards. Statues of Ra-Hathor and Anubis remain, their forms still and serene, their eyes forever gazing upon eternity. Notice how the flickering moonlight caresses the carvings, highlighting the subtle grooves that have survived millennia. In that silence, you can almost feel the heartbeat of Egypt itself, slow, steady, and timeless. Imagine walking through these halls one last time. The air is cooler now, carrying the faint scent of lotus and desert dust. The walls seem to breathe with story steles of gods and mortals, of life and death, of the eternal balance of Mat. As you step softly over worn stone floors, your feet echo in a gentle rhythm, blending with the murmur of invisible chants. You pause at the sanctum, where once the pharaoh walked, bridging the worlds of man and God. The statues watch in silent reverence, and the air is dense with history, heavy with memory. Outside, the stars glimmer across the velvet sky like droplets of divine light. Each one holds a story. You feel small? Yes. But in that smallness, there is comfort. You are part of this vast, eternal rhythm, this endless cycle of myth and memory. The Nile moves slowly, carrying whispers of the past voices of farmers, laughter of children, the soft steps of priests. It remembers every moment of reverence and hope. You can sense the heartbeat of the gods, subtle, soft, enduring. You understand something profound. These stories do not end. They live in the wind, in the sun, in the Nile. Imagine lying down on soft sand under the vast desert sky. The moon hangs low, a silver guardian. Breathe in the desert air and let the stories settle in your mind. Creation, love, triumph, they all rest here in the quiet eternity of your imagination. The temples fade into shadow. The Nile flows quietly, carrying all that has been and all that will be. And you, too, drift gently with it, lulled by the rhythm of history. And now, everything softens. The desert night stretches endlessly, calm and unbroken. The gods sleep, resting, waiting for the next spark of imagination. You have walked through a world both mortal and divine, both real and imagined. So let the river grow quiet, let the temples fade, and drift as softly as the Niland dreams. If this journey through the land of pharaohs helped you find rest, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. Sleep well, traveler, under the eternal stars of Egypt.